Welcome. Thank you very much for joining us here on Times Now. This is Breaking Ground and I'm Heena Gambhir. Viewers, it's April 1, the beginning of a new financial year, and a lot is going to change from today. Traveling by air will get expensive. Eating out will start hurting your wallets because of the ongoing West Asia war. Yes, viewers, Iran war is beginning to impact how we travel and where we eat. Let's break down the impact of war for you sector by sector. First up, let's talk about aviation sector. The global aviation turbine fuel prices have risen sharply. That's why here in India, the oil marketing companies have decided to pass on the burden to airlines. So for airlines, the cost of flying is going up. Hence for you, the ticket prices are set to go up. Let's explain to you how much, in fact, the prices have gone up. In Delhi, the jet fuel prices have gone up by 8.6%. Jet fuel, in fact, in Delhi on 1st of March used to cost 96,638 rupees per kiloliter. Now it is over 1 lakh rupees per kiloliter. So this has been the kind of increase. In Mumbai, prices have gone up by about 8.6%. In Chennai, by 9.6%. And if you look at Kolkata, even in Kolkata, there has been a sharp spike in jet fuel prices. They are up by 9% as well. So between 8.5% to 9%, we have seen an increase in the jet fuel prices. Now, according to the government, this rise is much lower than what should have actually happened because the centre has intervened. In a statement, Oil Ministry mentioned that ATF prices in India were deregulated in 2001 and are revised on a monthly basis. Due to closure of Strait of Hormuz and extraordinary situation in global energy markets, price of ATF for domestic markets was expected to rise actually by over 100%. But then, to shield the people, centre intervened. Centre has said that the ATF price was actually expected to rise by over 100%. Domestic ATF hike, in fact, has been capped at 25%. 25% cap has been put to protect travellers, domestic air travellers. This decision is in consultation with OMCs and Aviation Ministry. OMCs, in fact, have passed only a partial increase to airlines for now. Another very important aspect, full ATF hike is going to be applicable to foreign routes. Does it mean that our international air travel is going to be much more expensive? Well, clarity on this aspect is still awaited from the government side because aviation companies, airline companies are still trying to figure out how will they pass on this burden to the consumers. But the aviation mantri has said that this calibrated approach will help shield passengers. This is what he said. He said travellers are protected from sharp hike in fares. This will ease burden on domestic airlines and it will also support India's aviation sector. He said it will also ensure smooth movement of cargo. But viewers, we still do not know how much of this is going to translate to our ticket prices, to our boarding cards. And should we actually postpone our plans of holidaying abroad? Well, we'll have to wait and see how airlines are going to respond. But another important thing has happened on 1st of April. That's today. Eating out is set to get expensive in India because the prices of commercial LPG cylinder has gone up from 1,883 rupees to 2,078 rupees 50 paise. It has been increased by 195 rupees and 50 paise per cylinder. This is about 19 kg commercial cylinder that I'm talking about, where the prices have gone up. And this is actually supplied to hotels, restaurants, basically your commercial joints. So eating out set to go up for sure. Now here's how much commercial LPG cylinder costs in different metros. Delhi, I told you, 2,000 rupees and 2,078 rupees and 50 paise. In Mumbai, 2,031. In Kolkata, 2,208 rupees. And lastly, in Bengaluru, 2,246 rupees and 50 paise. But viewers, there is something important here. Justifying the surge in price of commercial LPG cylinder, the Oil Ministry again came out with another statement saying that this is due to a 44% rise in Saudi contract price. So there is a reason why it was necessary. The Saudi contract price has gone up sharply from March to April. There has been an impact on 20 to 30% global LPG supply because that's struck in Strait of Hormuz right now. The government is also saying that there has been no change in prices of domestic LPG cylinders. This is the statement, in fact, that has been put out by Ministry of Petroleum. So eating out is going to get expensive, but not eating at home. Joining us on the broadcast right now are my colleagues. We have Shefali as well as Ankit live with us. Ankit, to you first, can you tell us how is the impact really of this hike in commercial LPG cylinders on restaurants and small eateries?
Yes, absolutely. There is an impact on the restaurants, the dhaba owners. Right now, I am in the Jammu's, one of the old cities. It is the Gandhinagar, where the employees, the students came for here to have a lunch or something eatables. Right now, I have joined by the dhaba owner of this chain. I will talk to him. कितना ज़्यादा इम्पैक्ट पड़ा है ये बताइए. कल आपको कॉमर्शियल सिलेंडर कितने का मिला, आज कितने का पड़ रहा है?
सर आज 1 तारीख है, 1 अप्रैल. सो देन आज की और कल के फ़र्क में 300 रुपये का फ़र्क पड़ गया.
300 रुपये का. कल कितने का मिल रहा था?
कल यही सिलेंडर मेरे को मिल रहा था 1900 का और आज मेरे को 2250 रुपये का पड़ा.
क्या जो आपके रेट्स है, खाने पीने के सामान के रेट्स है, क्या उसमें भी बदलाव आपने लाया है? क्या उसको हाइक की है?
बिल्कुल सर, सडनली कोई चीज़ एक्शन हो जाता है तो हमें भी सडनली ये रेट्स बढ़ाने पड़ते हैं क्योंकि हमने अपने से तो कुछ देना नहीं है. सो हमें ये करना पड़ता है कि सर जैसे पता चला आज बढ़े तो हम अपने कस्टमर को खुद ही बता देते हैं कि सर आज हम बढ़ाने चले हैं. तो उससे कस्टमर को पता चलता है कि हाँ सर कुछ बढ़ा है तो हमें कुछ उसके प्रिपेयर होना पड़ेगा.
जब से ये वॉर हुई है अभी तक कितनी बार एलपीजी सिलेंडर्स के रेट बढ़े हैं और आपने अपने ढाबे में कितने रेट्स बढ़ाए हैं, खास तौर पे खाने पीने को लेकर?
सर हमारा यहाँ पे ना सिर्फ जनरल ढाबा है जहाँ पे हम सब पॉकेट में सबको देख के चलते हैं. तो हमने पहली बार ये बढ़ाया है, ज़्यादा नहीं बढ़ा सकते क्योंकि हमारे आम कस्टमर हैं तो ये चीज़ें भी देखनी पड़ती हैं. तो फाइनली इस बार ही हमने 10% बढ़ाए.
10% बढ़ाए. एलपीजी सिलेंडर, कॉमर्शियल सिलेंडर आपको मिल रहे हैं?
दिक्कत बहुत है. ये है कि मतलब अगर हम आज किसी को बोलते हैं तो हमें परसों मिलेगा, अदरवाइज हमारे तंदूर पे ही चल रहा है सब कुछ.
दिक्कत हो रही है.
दिक्कत बहुत.
Clearly it is having an impact on the people, you know, at restaurants and hotels. Of course, prices are beginning to go up. Ankit, stay on with us. In fact, viewers, like I mentioned earlier, eating out will get expensive, but not eating at home because there has been no change in domestic LPG cylinder rates. And there you can see, this is the price of domestic LPG cylinder, something that we get at our homes. In Delhi, it's at 913 rupees. In Mumbai, 912. Kolkata, 939. And in Chennai, around 928. There has been no change as far as the domestic LPG is concerned. Only commercial LPG prices have gone up. Now, let's tell you a little bit about the fuel prices, petrol and diesel. Global petroleum prices are going up, but there has been no change in petrol and diesel prices in India. Government says this is despite the fact that global petroleum prices have gone up by 100%. There are under-recoveries on petrol right now. So the oil marketing companies today are losing 24 rupees and 40 paisa per litre on petrol. This is not being passed on to the consumers. Government says there are under-recoveries of 104 rupees and 99 paise per litre on diesel. The prices could have gone up by this much, but it hasn't happened. This rise in prices is happening in other countries. It has happened by about 30 to 50%, but in India, there has been no change in petrol and diesel prices. Let me now go across to my colleague Shefali, who is joining us live from a fuel station. Shefali, government in the press conference also was reiterating that, you know, since I think April 2022, there has been no change in petrol and diesel prices. Can you talk to a few people and tell us about the surge in premium petrol prices that has happened?
We are at Chorbagh petrol pump. Although there are not many people here right now, but we'll still try to speak to few consumers who have come here. to fill their tanks. We know that there is no change in regular petrol prices, but there is a slight change in premium petrol price. We'll try to speak to one of the consumer. Sir, आज सरकार ने कहा है जो रेगुलर पेट्रोल प्राइसेस हैं उनमें कोई बढ़ोतरी नहीं है, पर जो प्रीमियम पेट्रोल प्राइसेस है उसमें हाल ही में ₹2 पर लीटर बढ़ाया गया है. क्या कहेंगे इस पे आप?
नहीं, एक्चुअली मैं तो सीएनजी यूज करता हूँ, भी पेट्रोल डलवा रहा हूँ, ज्यादातर कम चलाता हूँ पेट्रोल पर. तो प्राइस मेरे को पता नहीं है. मैं तो इनसे ये पूछ रहा था कि आज से इथनॉल तो नहीं डला?
सॉरी,
इथनॉल वगैरह का यूज तो नहीं हुआ आज से? सुना था मैंने 1 अप्रैल से शायद इथनॉल बढ़ जाएंगे.
बट अगर आप ऐसा ओवरऑल देखें, जो पेट्रोल प्राइसेस पूरे देश में पेट्रोल और डीजल के प्राइसेस बढ़ रहे हैं, इंडिया में जो रेगुलर पेट्रोल डीजल के प्राइसेस हैं अभी तक सरकार ने उनमें बढ़ोतरी नहीं की है. किस तरीके से देखते हैं आप, आम नागरिक को किस तरीके से बेनिफिट होगा?
अब ये तो देखना पड़ेगा. जो मैंने देखा है, जो मतलब मैं सोशल मीडिया पे देख रहा हूँ, ईरान में जो फ्यूल वगैरह नहीं आ रहा है उस पर डिपेंड करता है कब वहाँ से नेक्स्ट पेमेंट आएगा या जो भी आएगा, उसके बाद पता लगेगा पेट्रोल के रेट बढ़ेंगे नहीं बढ़ेंगे. और देशों में तो मतलब सुना है मैंने कि चेंजेस हुए हैं.
फिलहाल आज
अभी तक तो यहाँ तो दिल्ली में तो ठीक चल रहा है, लेकिन प्राइस का मैं कह नहीं सकता हूँ अभी ₹2 बढ़ा है नहीं बढ़ा, इसके बारे में मुझे कंफर्म नहीं है.
प्रीमियम पेट्रोल के प्राइसेस बढ़ा दिए गए हैं.
प्रीमियम का मुझे आइडिया नहीं है, मैं तो नॉर्मल पेट्रोल यूज करता हूँ.
All right, Shefali and Ankit, thank you very much for the moment for joining us with your inputs. We'll of course be coming back to you for more on this. Now viewers, you got a sense of what all is going to change from today. In a nutshell, let's tell you what exactly has happened. The commercial LPG has become expensive by ₹195.50. There has been no change in the prices of domestic LPG cylinders. Jet fuel prices have gone up by 8.5% to 9% for airlines. Premium petrol prices have been increased by at least 11 rupees per litre, but the prices of petrol and diesel remain unchanged. According to the government, they have not really changed since April 2022, despite all the pressure that's being seen in different parts of the country. Now, viewers, the price rise has fueled a political war of words. The opposition today is saying that their warnings were ignored by the centre, and this is only a sign of things to come. Government is not only forced to increase costs, but the opposition claims the government is misleading the public by claiming that everything is under control. Listen in.
सरकार जब कह रही है कि सब नियंत्रण में है, स्थिति अच्छी है, तो आखिरकार ये कमर्शियल एलपीजी के प्राइसेस क्यों बढ़ाए जा रहे हैं? और घरेलू गैस के भी प्राइसेस बढ़े हैं थोड़े दिन पहले, तो ये क्यों बढ़ाए जा रहे हैं? अगर सरकार कह रही है कि सब कुछ नियंत्रण में है, सरकार साफ साफ बात कहे लोगों से, क्योंकि लोगों को बहुत विश्वास है सरकार के ऊपर.
तो बढ़ना ही था, सबको ये बात की जानकारी थी. हमारे प्रधानमंत्री और भारतीय जनता पार्टी बराबर इस बात का कंट्राडिक्ट करती रही है और कर रही है कि कोई संकट नहीं है, हमारे पास पर्याप्त स्टॉक है. लेकिन हकीकत ये है कि हर चीज़ की कमी है और जिसकी वजह से कीमतें बढ़ रही हैं और सरकार को भी मजबूरन कीमत बढ़ानी पड़ रही है.
ये मत सोचना कि कमर्शियल मतलब सिर्फ धंधा है, उसके ऊपर जो लोग निर्भर रहते हैं, दोनों तरफ से व्यवसाय करने वाला, उद्योग करने वाला, छोटा सा रोज करने वाला, और इसके ऊपर पेट जो रोजाना लोग जहाँ कहीं भी नहीं खाते, होटल में खाने वाले लोग हैं गरीब. हम सरकार को इतना ही कहना चाहते हैं, इसमें भी कुछ राहत दे दो ताकि वो गरीबों की जो खाना है ना वो तो चले, उतना तो करिए बस.
And joining us on the broadcast right now are my guests. We have Dhirendra Tayal, who is a BJP spokesperson. We also have with us Dr. Akashdeep Muni, who is a political analyst. Good evening to both of you, gentlemen, for joining us. Thank you for joining us here on Breaking Ground this evening. Mr. Dhirendra, to you first. How will you like to respond to what the opposition has to say? Opposition is saying this is the reality of Achhe Din.
Thank you so much, Heena. I think primarily what is happening is that the opposition does not have anything to say at this moment. Now, I was thinking about this, that if, let us assume this was to happen during the times of Manmohan Singh, I think he would have come out and said, as we know he said, that money does not grow on trees. मैं पैसे कहाँ से लाऊं? How do I subsidize this? How do I help the OMCs? And since they are deregulated, let it be a pass on to the customer. There's nothing that. But where was the money going that time, and why is there money available now? So look at the extent to which it is being absorbed. It is not to say that there is nothing happening in the world. The common man, everybody, we are aware of what is happening. Price rises across the world in fuel. I mean, Pakistan, we are looking at something like 55%, Germany about 22%, France about 19%. That kind of price rises even in the very developed economies also. But the common man in India, Narendra Modi is ensuring the common man in India does not suffer. That is what is happening. The LPG is being maintained. Today we are sourcing from more than 40 countries so that we are not dependent on one. The ships are coming through. The Iranian oil is coming after so many years. So everything has been done. The problem is with so much happening in the world, still the opposition is at a wit's end on how to challenge the government, and they're trying to clutch at straws in the wind, which are just not there.
Dr. Akashdeep Puri, how will you like to respond? Because it's a global situation that we're talking about. It's a war. And India is not the only country that's getting impacted, but efforts are being made to protect the common man as much as possible. For example, there was a press briefing a short while ago, the interministerial press briefing, wherein the government said that since April 2022, the petrol and diesel prices have not been increased for the common man, despite so many under-recoveries that we are talking about right now.
Heena, when global crude oil prices fell sharply, I guess we are talking about global prices, when it fell sharply during 2014-16 and during the COVID time from $120 per barrel to $32 per barrel, the BJP-led central government repeatedly hiked excise duty 9 times, petrol by 11 rupees, diesel by 13 rupees, so that common man pays the higher petrol price and they earn money, 40 lakh crore. And today when fuel prices have risen up due to the war and started by the Modi's friend Trump and Netanyahu, the government have started transferring fuel hike to common man by raising the air flight and LPG cost. You know that Air India and Indigo have imposed surcharges from March. Hotel, restaurants, cloud kitchens, street vendors, delivery services using commercial cylinders all have increased their food prices. Your reporter reported it now only. And BJP statement that there will be no impact on domestic supply is proving just a lie.
But how is it a lie? The domestic LPG cylinder prices, one by one. Let's tackle the points that you have raised one by one. Firstly, domestic LPG cylinder prices have not been increased. So, you know, in kitchens, of course, in people's households, things are not really going to change despite the turbulent situation that we are seeing right now. Second, you said there was a time when crude oil prices were falling. At that point in time, the government did not pass on the benefit. At that time, I remember Mr. Dhirendra Pradhan was the oil minister, and in the parliament, many a times he had said that we are increasing the excise duty to prepare for a situation like this, so that we can cushion the Aam Aadmi when the right time comes. Don't you think that strategy has really helped India in dealing with the current situation?
Sure.
Will you give, at least, some credit where it is due? Because otherwise, do you think it would have been possible for any government to reduce the excise duty the way this government did to ensure that petrol and diesel prices do not go up in the country?
The excise duty that you are talking about is for OMCs, not for the common man. That has been brought down in March.
But sir, do you understand how this whole thing functions?
Yes.
Let me explain to you a little bit. So if excise duty is cut, it helps the oil marketing companies deal with their losses, because I was also explaining to our viewers initially, there are under recoveries that we are talking about. Oil marketing companies today are losing money if they are selling petrol and diesel prices at certain rates. They should increase the rates, but they are not doing it. Some help has come in from the center side because the excise duty has come down.
Dekhiye Heena ji, when the petrol prices came down from $130 per barrel to $32 per barrel, it is 1/4. But 75% come hua. Then not a 1 rupee was brought down for the consumers. They showed that the 75%.
Dhirendra Tayal, how will you like to respond to this argument?
Let me complete.
No, we understood the point that you're essentially making. Mr. Tayal, please respond.
So this is as ridiculous as it gets. For example, I mean, what they're talking about during their regime, what did they do to the country? Because of the under recoveries, it was they who issued oil bonds, and 3 lakh crores the Modi government has paid because of what they left. So they should understand that if they're asking where did that money go, that money went into repaying the debts created by them. In 2022, Brent went up to $120 and the price was not increased. So what the business, what the country needs is a certain amount of stability. Over a period of time, you cannot have fluctuations every day if business is to be done. And that is what the government has done. And today, he's talking about, I mean, how more ridiculous can it get when you say that the excise duty has been reduced, but the impact has not been passed on to the consumer. In this kind of a world situation, when prices are skyrocketing, should we be expecting that the prices in India will come down? You yourself said the subsidy, the under recovery on diesel is in excess of 100 rupees. The government is offsetting 10. That means still about 90 to 95 rupees the oil companies are absorbing today so that the Indian public does not suffer.
Right. So clearly, Modi government says that it's a Suraksha Kavach that has been provided to the people of this country so that there is no, steep shock as far as prices are concerned of essentials for the Aam Aadmi. We'll see where it goes because all eyes are now going to be on what US President Donald Trump has to say in a couple of hours, and that will give us a sense of where this war is really headed. For now, thank you very much, both of you gentlemen. Appreciate you joining us here on this debate. Heading into a short break, we'll be back with more. Stay with us.